What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kansas City Commercial Real Estate Market Polls. Today, we're joined by Micah LaCerte. He's an entrepreneur, world champion athlete, co-founder of Hitch Fit, and he's built a global transformation brand right out of Kansas City across fitness, media, retreats, and mission-driven leaderships. And I was talking with Micah right before we got started. Very few times do I have as much love on our LinkedIn posts about our guests, but Jason Ratcliffe, appreciate you tuning in. Tate Unruh, a previous guest as well. Michael Iamarino, I was just with him this morning, actually, and Michael is an awesome dude as well. So just wanted to give you a shout out, man. You get a lot of love here in Kansas City.
Man, I appreciate all those fellows, and I appreciate just this opportunity, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, as always, we are live and we are monitoring the chat. So if you guys have questions that I don't get to ask Micah, I have the pleasure of talking with incredible entrepreneurs and builders and creators on a weekly basis. And, selfishly, it's one of my favorite things that I get to do is, interview authors and published authors. I had a published author on yesterday, and it's just a wonderful way for me to continue to elevate my game. So please do feel free to ask any questions that you guys have for Micah or myself. And if you have interest in commercial real estate in Kansas City, always love to give a shout out to my team. I would not be able to do any of what I'm capable of doing without Katie and Nick and Nathan and Christian and Chad and Derek and Mitch and Joe, and pretty soon a new addition. So we will add that here very soon. He's got to graduate college, but super excited for a young ex-athlete to be joining our firm, being my right-hand guy in a few different asset classes that we're focused on. So please do reach out to us. But man, Micah is a world champion fitness athlete. I reached out to Micah, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago. I don't remember how long it was, saying, look, man, I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on. You were getting ready to go to, was it Costa Rica, right?
Yeah. We just got back, actually, Costa Rica. But
just got back from Costa Rica.
Yes.
Launching a new book. I'm sure it's going to be a bestseller if it's not already. And he's co-founded Hitch Fit, which in Kansas City, if you know Kansas City, you know Hitch Fit for sure. But it's also a global online personal training company, and he's helped clients in over 80 countries. I love this fact right here. Lose more than 750,000 pounds. Like, come on, man. That's incredible. He also co-owns Soul Fit Retreats, and he's the founder of the Breaker Mission, which helps men heal from trauma. And his mission is to inspire people to rise above adversity and create lasting transformation. A couple things on this, Micah, before I hand it over to you. 2014, I just got cut from the NFL. I'm 335 pounds. And I'm like, man, I don't need to be 335 pounds anymore. Always was a big guy. Still walk around about 245 today. But in less than 6 months, I went from 335 to 219 pounds. And trust me, brother, it was not the right way to do it.
No.
But the experts like, no, man. Like, I wrecked my metabolism, but I learned a lot. And the physical transformation actually led to a much more robust mental transformation. I've also been through a decent amount of my own trauma that I have had to heal from through that period of time. Right after I got done doing that and finishing my graduate school and getting ready to start my first real world job, I lost my dad 12 years ago, I guess now, 12, 13 years ago, from his battle with drugs and alcohol. And so all of this is happening at once. So I say that because I reached out to Micah, and I hope to meet you in person very soon, because I want to put myself around individuals that are elevating themselves and other people, having a huge impact on them, but also not afraid to talk about the hard things, and that's what the book, and we're going to get into the breaker here very soon. That's what it's all about. And I read this book from Lewis Howes, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And it was like the masks of masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
All of these masks that we wear, we hide behind, right? And that really opened my eyes to a lot of things. I think about ex-athlete, right? Or I was an athlete at the time. I was hiding behind that identity. Well, when that's taken away, what's left, man? What is left? So why don't you talk to us a little bit about some of your journey, what you're focused on right now. If people don't know who you are, Micah, introduce yourself to them and yeah, just give them the good word, man.
Oh man. I think it's important to kind of start at the beginning, because a lot of people, they see kind of maybe where we're at now and then be like,
Yeah.
man, what's this journey all about? What's this dude all about? And upbringing was pretty difficult.
Mm.
Single parent family. We moved 30 times in 18 years. I went through some horrific abuse that nobody should ever have to go through, especially as a child. It really shaped me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of bad things, went through a lot of bad things, and it kind of left me at the age of 18, um, dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, panic attacks. And at the same time, on the outside, all you saw was a smile and a kid that looked very confident. And internally, I was really struggling, like
Yeah.
really bad. And, I got a lifeline at the age of 18, as I call it in the book, of dumbbells and chicken breast is what I call it. And it really was, anyone who works out, you understand the importance of working out and what it does, not only for the physique at 18, I want bigger muscles and I want to be attractive to women and whatnot. But the bigger piece of that was what was going on inside of me with the anxiety and depression. And we now know it is the number one thing you can do to combat stress and anxiety is working out and eating right.
Oh, wow.
And it's right in front of us with the right schedule, prioritizing it, making it a part of your life. They did a research over in Australia with over 127,000 people, and they found that working out was 1.5 times more effective for anxiety and depression than any medication or counseling. And again, I'm not against medication in small forms for periods of time for people that are really struggling, but we don't want to stay on that forever. And counseling can be very effective too. But
Yeah.
you have dumbbells right in front of you. You have a street you can go run out on, or a park or whatnot, and eating right. And so my passion for so long, Logan, has just been, as I went through my own transformation, I wanted other people to feel healthy and strong and fit too. And then as we've gotten deeper into my own healing, now we go much deeper into the process of why someone got out of shape, or why someone has really turned to success as a way. And that's what I did. I turned to accolades. I turned to success to try to cover really what was going on inside of me. I didn't turn to drugs or alcohol, but I did turn, or food or pornography, but I did turn to success and accolades, and really use that kind of as an armor along with the muscle. So,
Yeah.
I think as I get the opportunity to sit in front of a lot of these men and these women over the years, I've seen a common pattern, especially with successful people and entrepreneurs, is it's like we get this badge of honor of working 100 hours a week.
Mm.
And then I say, man, take a look at yourself in the mirror, and you're destroying yourself.
Yeah.
We can make money and you get healthier, and I can help you make more money. I can help you also be the dad you need to be, the mom you need, or the husband you need to be, whatnot, and be healthy and fit and go climb a mountain too, And I think it's about being able to have all of those things, but you got to say your priorities right. And since then, man, we wake up, we get to help as many people as we can. A lot of doors have opened over the years, but we've worked really hard over the years too.
Absolutely. 100%. Well, big shout out to Diana showing up today. She is sharing the about the tough things is so powerful. So you obviously have a strong tribe, my man.
Yeah, my wife is, and we're giving a lot of street cred to me right now, but my wife, any my fellas out there that are married, that my wife is very strong-willed. She is a go-getter. We operate and we go, and she is, man, she's amazing. She's been a force.
Yeah, well, that's incredible, man. And a couple things that I wanted to kind of pull out there was you're talking about this identity versus these habits, and this is a common theme from what I'm seeing in people that I'm interviewing is, when the going gets tough, when it's hard, when you don't want to do the things you should do, if you just have a habit and it's not an identity of, hey, I identify as someone who does hard things versus, hey, I may or may not do that today. Like, you're not going to do it. And so I think James Clear put that pretty, succinctly in his book, Atomic Habits. It's got to be in your identity. And shout out to my wife because she's not here. She's listening. She doesn't listen in. Probably a good point about that. But she's on a beach in sunny Florida right now. So love you, babe. Hope you're enjoying your time. But she goes, man, I tell you what, when I met you, Logan, I thought I was disciplined. And then I met you. And then like, it was not just one level, like you're like 6 levels above. And she said, where does that, come from? I said, this is not motivation. This is not, any of that. This is rooted in who I am as an individual. And Mike, I have to share with you because I've gone through just recently some therapy in regards to really dealing with my dad's loss. Because look, man, I was playing in the NFL. I got cut. I'm losing this weight, but I'm doing these things. I've got a new job. My dad passes away. Well, I just kind of like move on, right? Like that was my approach. And when I worked through this, I found out that the reason that I am, a big reason of why I am the way that I am now with 3 young kids, 7, 5, and 2, is that, dude, on the day that he passed away, I left him. I prayed over him. I said, Dad, I have been here for 2 weeks by your side. And he couldn't speak because he had a stroke. All he could do was cry, right? And it was the most, and I don't have words to describe the way that he was looking at me, but other than despair. And I don't know if he knew what was next for him, what he wanted to say, but legitimately God, muted him at his last hour. And 3 hours later, I got a call that he had passed away. So I knew that I was the thing that was really holding him to be holding on, right? And holy cow, as a young 24-year-old man, I didn't really understand what that did to me until I had children and now seeing what they look to me for. And I have this drive to never be on a deathbed looking at my son not being able to speak to him.
Yeah.
Like, think about how powerful that is. So I just wanted to share that because, with your work that you're in, the messaging that you're putting out there, it has touched me not only personally, but very at a deeply level. So just wanted to give you a shout out on that, man.
And I appreciate your vulnerability, the passing of someone you love as much as a father like that. And in that moment, but, even though the words couldn't go out, he could still sit there and speak to the Lord, and hopefully his heart was where it needed to be, but you being there with him, that is a beautiful moment too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, man, let's transition a little bit because I want to give folks an idea who we're kind of speaking to, and this idea that we can go from this Kansas City, and I love AI. Look at that map that Katie put together for us. That's incredible, right? To a global brand, 80 countries, 750,000 pounds. I mean, at what point did you and I'm going to say and Diana now because I see her here in the comments here realize that Hitch Fit was becoming more than just a local gym brand and had the potential to scale globally? Like what was that like?
So I'll take you back to the attic. I call it attic because those were the attic days. And this is gonna really age me, but there'll be some listeners and some viewers that will get it. Way back in this time of what was called MySpace.
Okay.
In MySpace, this is like, let's go back to like 2004, 2005, and this is like the very beginning of what we know now as social media marketing. And I'm doing this fitness thing. I'm doing covers of magazines. I'm really heavily in the fitness industry. And at the same time, trying to navigate how I'm going to create a business of really transformation. That's where my heart was. I didn't want to be a personal trainer per se. I wanted to be someone who really transformed someone's life and body. And so that's where kind of the concept had come. And then, so as I'm utilizing MySpace, I'm going, okay, this gives me the ability to have reach far greater than Kansas City. And so what if we ended up creating something that was online that I could work with anybody all over the world? They could pay through PayPal or whatnot at the time. And we could, just create this model. And so this is 2008 that this concept came up. But what I ended up doing is I was kind of building it over the years by kind of testing it with people. And the very first client was a girl from Canada. And she ended up losing 30 pounds, 35 pounds in 16 weeks. And she had gotten much more healthy and fit. And she's like, I would love to share about you and whatnot. And that's really how it started.
Wow.
And then from that I had to go in because I was one of the very first online trainers in the world. And so the biggest challenge was explaining to people what online personal training was, because it wasn't on Google at that time. And so really kind of putting it on the map, what it was, and that it could actually work if I wasn't in person. We didn't have Zoom or anything like that either the same way. So, I think like looking back at it now, it was such a fun period of time because we were really creating something new and the whole concept. And then it just took off. So we both had utilized everything that we had done in the fitness industry with the magazines and having that sort of accolade and attention, building really big MySpace pages. And then from that, we just put the brand out, and it really exploded from day one. And
Yeah.
then 9 months later in August, we ended up opening our first gym, and we created the first transformation gym in the world, and a model that had never been seen before. And it was based off of the online program.
Man, okay. Sorry. You just blew my mind. Okay. And you're not that much older than me, but like in what I will say is the concepts that Micah just laid out for us are still utilized today. But think about if you're a business owner having to describe the business that you are trying to sell and the service that you have. And of course, now being online businesses with personal training is, run rampant, right? You can find a million of them. And there's anyways, but having to use MySpace to get the word out. Okay. And what we do in commercial real estate is we use press releases and case studies to tell people about what we have done successfully, right? But like we can now put that out on USA Today, Business Insider, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, the list goes on and on. MySpace, okay,
Yes.
that's the number one thing that I picked up on there. But the second part was being willing to lean into something that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
How did you? And I oftentimes talk about the idea that when you start behaving like a top performer, a top producer, whatever it is, versus when you start to see those results, you're in the lag, and that uncertainty is what a lot of people fall off on, right? And I just had a meeting with Bryce, who's sitting in this other office behind me, about like, look, you don't show up tomorrow and say, just because you said I want to lose 25 pounds, the pounds are not off tomorrow. It's the same thing. But in business, so many people think, well, I have made this decision to be a top business person or a top whatever, and it's not here yet. I'm giving up, right? But how did you lean into that uncertainty to say, I'm going to prove this space out?
Well, if we look back at our lives, and I told you a little snippet of my childhood, I'd gone through so many things. And so how my mind was set up at that point was, what's the worst that could happen?
Mm.
And so fear didn't have a grip on me when it came to business at all. I was like, I'm going to create something. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe some people will say, nah, that's not for me, but there's going to be some people that are going to be all in on it. It's especially if I get the results on it.
Certainly.
And a lot of what I'm going to say today is going to be, it's going to touch everybody that's listening in some sort of way, that's a leader, an entrepreneur, or wants to grow in life. And it was the day in, day out consistency of creating a schedule that was going to allow me to be as effective as possible to get and achieve the things that I needed in life. So I'm a firm believer that consistency leads to discipline. Discipline leads to freedom, and freedom means different things for different people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you just pulled out. I am an absolute fanboy of Jocko Willink. Okay.
Yes.
So,
yeah. Jocko talks about that all the time.
And as far as I know, do you have supplements?
We do. We have a supplement company too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to talk about that. But
Yeah.
I only take Jocko's supplements.
Yeah, Jocko's awesome, man. He's
they're American made. And anyways, but
yes,
I love Jocko so much that when he was getting his products into Walmart, he was doing a 4 a.m. tour in Walmart parking lots. So I took my wife. I said, we're going to Bentonville, Arkansas. And I went and I met, in the background of my computer is me shaking Jocko Willink's hand. Why? Not because of the message necessarily, but the same time he came out with Extreme Ownership, guess what I was doing? I was getting cut from the NFL. I was losing weight, and I had just lost my dad, and it gave me something to a framework to just hold on to, right? And so it's very important. So I love that you said that discipline equals freedom is a mantra in my life for sure, man. Now, I do want to ask you this, okay? Because a lot of people listening in are in real estate, they are business owners, they're trying to figure out the omni-channel approach through brick and mortar versus online, right? And the e-commerce penetration rate is something that we talk about in retail real estate quite a bit. Most people don't realize that $4 and $5 outside of some segments of the industries are still spent in bricks and mortar. So I want to talk with you about what are some of the biggest operational differences between running the online business, a physical location. When do you have physical? When do you go online? Like, what was that like for you guys?
I think that the most difficult thing with online, the challenges are really based in technology alone. Making sure that we're evolving as technology evolves, making sure that we're ahead of the curve, making sure we're staying consistent with marketing and whatnot. Online is a completely separate animal, in my opinion, than brick and mortar.
Okay.
Now, I think the marketing can really infuse with both. They can play off one another, especially if an online side and you have a brick and mortar side. They can really play well with one another. They have for us. The brick and mortar side for us was more challenging, especially early on, because now we're dealing with people, real contractors, real situations of hire and fire, real situations of creating a legit culture in our gym, how to do all of that, the blueprint. You're not given that even if you go to school. Like, you still have to have real life experience in going in and how to sit down and talk to someone, all the guidelines and rules and everything that are involved with kind of a brick and mortar type of a system. And I think that for us was the biggest challenge, hiring and terminating and going through those processes over the time. Really, you get really good, from a sports analogy, you get really good at hitting the curveball.
Yeah.
Right. And that to me was like, I knew I would wake up every day in brick and mortar world, and sometimes in online world too, knowing that I was either going to have to put out a fire or hit a curveball. And you almost, like, it's a mind shift, Logan, where you start like looking forward to problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
And what problem am I going to get today that I can solve and change without getting triggered and emotional and whatnot, where I just respond properly.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we got a listener question in here. I don't know who it's from, but I got it sent over to me. After building both models, what do you think brick and mortar still does better than online that can't really be replicated digitally?
Oh, for sure. Personal touch.
Yeah.
The online side, even through Zoom or even through that, it's just that one-on-one relationship of having those deep in our space as a service. So much of what we do, yes, we teach people how to lift a dumbbell or eat chicken or whatnot, but the deeper rooted stuff is the talks that you and I would have, right? Where we're like, man, what's going on in life, man? Let's dive into, this challenge that you're having, and how many people have people that they can actually put everything on the table with, trust and love, and, and get some of that stuff out that maybe internally. That's what one-on-one in person can touch that maybe online can't.
Yeah. Well said, and to each person their own, right? You want to have one location and have that really big impact on a certain amount of people. That's great for that, right? But if you want to scale and scale efficiently, that's a very difficult and different model to do so. I saw this new concept. I reached out to them on LinkedIn because they're targeting Kansas City. And it's this, my wife went and did Pilates and for a long time, she loved it, but she's like, babe, why am I not seeing any results? I said, you are seeing results. They're in your mind because you're getting the endorphins of stretching and moving your body. But like, you're telling me that you want to be toned up. And so many people think, and I'm not a trainer, that toning is possible. You got to build muscle, right? That's what you have there, right? Okay. So, but the new model was like this power Pilates that actually integrated some weightlifting and some bands in there. And I said, that might take off because not only are you getting the good feeling of moving and stretching, but you got some resistance training in there as well. So like, that could be an interesting brick and mortar, opportunity for someone. But to transition that online and tell people that they don't have the reformer at their house, they're not going to be able to do it. So
Yeah,
different models for different strategies, right?
that's right.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Let's transition over to this, building the multiple verticals, right? A lot of entrepreneurs, they struggle to scale even one business successfully. But what allowed you and Diana and the team to expand into those multiple verticals without losing focus? Because focus is my word this year, Micah. It is follow
Yeah.
one course until
Yes.
successful. Okay. Because you know me, I could be over here and over there and over there. But talk to us about how you guys built this successfully.
It's really cool to see this in a graphic form because it's me and my wife, and we
Hmm.
do almost everything.
Wow.
And so focus is a word that maybe I'm needing to hear right now too. We are ultra focused, the schedule and whatnot, but there's a lot of things that we juggle all the time, which makes it pretty challenging. But what I'll tell people is we started with Hitch Fit, so that was very foundational for us. That's kind of the first child, right, in the business. That is, we have the brick and mortar, we have the online, and then from Hitch Fit we've kind of built some other limbs, which is, we built an app that was an evolution, that was more of a scalable version where we're doing like fitness challenges with bigger groups and whatnot, not just the one-on-one online training, whatnot.
Mhm.
And then we also did a kind of a top tier program called Inner Circle that I take 12 men a year, and we go real deep and get people from where they're at to like next level. And then we were at a pivotal place about 3 to 4 years ago where we were traveling quite a bit, and we knew that building more gyms was not what we wanted to do. We wanted to get into some other things, so we had to kind of make a sacrifice, and the sacrifice was we were going to pull our gyms down to one. We wanted one central gym once we figured out in our heart that we didn't want to franchise that or build it really gigantic. And we wanted to start the Soul Fit retreats business. We really wanted to do deeper work with a little bit more of a group setting and take people all around the world and just see really impactful transformations and breakthroughs. And so we started that business really not knowing what in the world we were doing either.
Yeah, yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, that's kind of just what you do. You just jump into the deep end from the high dive sometimes, and you just figure out how to swim. And that's really kind of how we've done. And now we've had 12 retreats. We've run conferences. It's an amazing business on that side, which we love. And then from that, we have our own national TV show now called Soul Fit TV. And so we're running that and then able to utilize all of our businesses within that platform, which is fantastic. And then about 9 years ago, the Breaker mission really started to evolve. And that was, I had all this success. I had an amazing marriage, amazing wife, amazing friends. I had everything, but there was still a piece of me that was very hollow and empty, and I was still struggling inside, and I knew I needed to go back and tend the wound. And the Lord, with the Lord, I literally went into 7 years of deep healing to get to the place. And I just launched my book a couple weeks ago, and the mission behind it to help men and women that are still struggling from childhood abuse. And so we're juggling a lot of things that really work together, in the way that we do our language, our marketing. It kind of all flows together. So it's been an evolution over the course of 17 years, but to be in this place now, we're very grateful to be able to wake up and do this.
Absolutely. Well, a couple words come to mind as you're speaking is, well, one, curiosity, right? And I think that's important for every entrepreneur out there. But probably a bigger one that came through was caring.
Yeah.
It's from a place of care, and maybe it's because I don't know. I just put up your wife's comments here, but look at this. We started the retreat business truly as a way to have another means of true deep connection and community with people, like an extension of what we've built at Hitch Fit, but even deeper.
Yeah.
So that had to come through because of that comment there. So again, Diana, thank you for being here and sharing that. It's really cool she needs to be on here with us. We'll have to have
She
her come back
does.
and just
Yeah,
talk.
get her on next time.
Yeah, 100%. Well, let's transition into the Breaker, man. I mean, 7 years of
Yeah.
deep work and writing a book this personal, man. That takes a different level of vulnerability. So Tell us, how did you come to the realization that, like, after 7 years, this was the time to share this message, this very vulnerable message, publicly?
Well, so it all started 9 years ago. My wife and I were at a concert, a Carrie Job concert, and she's singing this song, and Logan, I have this God moment. The Holy Spirit's like on me, and I am crying like a little baby. Like, in
Mhm.
all honesty, like I can't even control what's going on. And I see a vision. I see two visions, and the first vision was to go see our children in Haiti. We sponsor a school of kids in Haiti.
Mhm.
Was able to do that, and that was such an amazing blessing to hold those kids and see them. But the other one, I'll be completely transparent with you, Logan, I was not comfortable. I was like, there is no way I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I saw myself on a stage sharing the most vulnerable, horrific story that I was holding in for 30 years. And and you know, it took me a little while to come to grip that I was going to do that. I let my wife know, I let Diana know that this is what I was called to do, and I needed to go through my healing. And so I took such a long period of time in that healing, so that there was never a man or a woman that I stood face to face with or I was speaking to that I couldn't authentically speak into and pour into
Mhm.
properly, and being on the other side and being free of it. And that's why I spent so much time in it, and God really navigated me through my own journey. Everybody's journey is slightly different. But we, within the book, we really give a path. It wasn't just sharing my story in the book. It was really also about, building a path to how to get through that and a mission behind it.
Yeah, most definitely. Man, I can't imagine. That's probably a vision that was hard to really accept. And I think that's in everybody's lives. You're going to have those types of moments where there's that thing that you need to be sharing, but you're not.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that can be something that's going to be a bottleneck for you in different areas, right? Similar to what I shared at the beginning here was I
Yeah.
need to go deal with the
Yeah.
shame that I felt leaving my dad that day and him passing away by himself, right?
Yeah.
Like I got to deal with that.
Yeah.
Like I made the decision, I did. He passed away. I wasn't there, but like you got to deal with that stuff, and you
Yeah.
got to and deal with. I guess probably the worst word for that. It's more you have to confront it, accept it, and understand it. Right. That's the process that I kind of went through here. So if anybody's listening here, men and or women struggling with that shame or identity or feeling stuck, what would you hope that they take away from reading The Breaker?
Well, you're going to get a lot out of the breaker. We've gotten so much feedback so far. It's been unbelievable. A lot of doors have opened, and we're kind of hearing the consistent. I got to take you through the valleys. We
Mhm.
don't go real graphic. I want people to understand that too. We don't go graphic into the abuse. It was very important that we didn't write. My wife wrote the book, by the way, too, which is a very big piece of this.
Yeah.
She was the only one that could actually get my voice exactly the way it needed to be. And I'll tell you, it was very important that I didn't write the book while I was still in my healing,
Mm.
because it's common to go way too deep into the actual abuse and being graphic in that, and that's not what I wanted to leave with people. I
Sure.
wanted to leave people of like, hey, we got to go through this journey. We're going to go through these valleys. You're going to read some stuff that's hard and it may be relatable to you, but I'm going to also show you how to get to the mountaintop and get free of this.
Mm.
And we really build a roadmap or a blueprint in that book with legitimate. We have researchers. We have Arizona Trauma Institute backed us, opened their entire curriculum to us,
Wow.
as well as Freedom Academy. We really got some amazing contributors to help along this journey. So it wasn't just me going, hey, this is what worked for me. This is like legitimate, information. So you have this story of this little boy and what he went through, and then into the healing side for someone that may have gone through this or know someone that has but doesn't know what to do.
Absolutely. Well, it's apparent. Go check it out. It's called The Breaker, Micah and Diana. And Bex is saying here that it's a verified purchase review, got a lot of 5-star reviews already. Freedom found here.
Yeah.
And wow, that it just it's got to feel, empowering to have shared that with the world and have seen the impact that it is having and will continue to have. So kudos to you, man. I really admire that.
I appreciate you, Logan.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, you talked a little bit about the mission-driven entrepreneurship. Now, this
Yeah.
is on my mind
Yeah.
quite a bit, right? And you've built businesses around the idea of transformation and impact. So, as it continues to grow, how have you been able to keep the mission at the center of all of that growth, right? Like that's something that is very interesting to me. And yeah, that's Micah and his wife. So get on board, baby. That's amazing. So I got to get myself a picture like that, my man.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I think it all sounds for us foundationally is where it all starts. When I think mission driven, our faith means a tremendous amount to us. And so our foundation is there. And you know, if I'm going to lead or try to replicate like Jesus, then I'm going to do everything that I can to pour into every single walk of life that I get the opportunity to walk into. Not just another believer, but anyone in an elevator, a grocery store. And my life is really surrounded around that and pouring into them and meet them where they're at too, and show them love and show them truth and show them light and utilize my gifts that I can pour into them, whether that be their health or just someone that can sit there and listen if they're going through something, struggling, and hold that with them. You know, and that's that's where this all is. You know, we have our kids in Haiti, which is a big portion of what we give and where we do there. But over the years, for our Kansas City folks, we did Big Brothers Big Sisters for a long period of time. We did Boys and Girls Club. We were a part of that as well. Operation Breakthrough. So a lot of these things in Kansas City, like we understand the importance of children, protecting children, building children up. But it's also about making sure that the families are where they need to be, and the dads and the moms and whatnot. And so I think we kind of just practice living a specific life that we hope brings light into dark places or dark times for people.
I love that. That's incredible, man. Thank you for sharing. I mean, as you know, you have been in business, you said 17 years now, right?
Yeah.
Rocking and rolling on MySpace back in the day. Still, mind is still mind blown emoji over here. MySpace. Who was that? Tom. You and Tom were.
Oh yeah, man. Tom, man. He was popular.
That's amazing. But as we are living through what I think is a transformational time with AI and technology as it continues to evolve, where do you think the biggest opportunities are in fitness and wellness and entrepreneurship over the next few years? I mean, how do we adopt to this new technology? What are you guys doing?
I think AI is gigantic, but I will also tell you that I think people still want real life conversation. They want real life connection. So at least what we believe we're going to do is kind of a mix of both. We're going to be able to utilize a lot of what AI does and some of the positive things that it does. But I still think having a personal touch brings someone to another level, especially with what we do. Now, there's a lot of businesses out there that may not need that super deep connection with a person like we do, where they may be able to utilize AI to a level that, is very effective for them. For us, we know we have to keep that personal touch in that allows someone to feel true emotion in those moments.
Absolutely. That's the key, I think, right now. I mean, it's so easy to spot the AI slop, and if I see another LinkedIn post with the long dashes and all of the stuff that's in there, it's like, all right, that's AI driven. So I think you're right, man. There's going to be this almost like, and I think there's already kind of a turning back to, did you write this? Did you think about what you actually put out? Or, I mean, I'm in commercial real estate. I have listings and all of the letters of intents that are coming in and the purchasing agreements and everything. I can almost spot, okay, you use Claude, you use Chat GPT, you use Gemini. Like I can see it now. So I start to wonder, what's that impact going to have with B2C, B2B, consumers and selling and advising. And I think there's a space for this technology, and I use it almost at every layer of our workflows. However, the inputs that go into it are extremely important. The outputs are always checked by somebody because there has been research done where almost 50 to 90%, depending on what research study you see, it pulled in some sort of hallucination.
Yeah.
And I have said, well, you better check the data that it's pulling from, because if you realize it's pulling from other resources online, well, our reporting, our technology, and everything that's online, it's not who's verifying all that information, right? It was the old joke of Wikipedia. It's like, well, holy cow. Now people are asking ChatGPT, how much is my property worth? And if they're not getting an offer that's that high, they're not selling. Ryan Serhant put a video out on LinkedIn and said he lost a $50 million deal because the seller asked, should I sell at this price or not? Are you kidding me?
Oh man, that's crazy.
So here's my tidbit for all the listeners right now is, if you're using AI, the one thing I'm asking myself before I send anything out based off of that is, has AI done this before? And if the answer is no, then I am not sharing that, because an AI has not sold a property. An AI has not negotiated a lease. An AI, all of those things. But you know what an AI has done is taken 15 different disaggregated pieces of information and send me an incredible dossier telling me where to look and what to find. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So anyways, there's so much moving online and being automated. I think there's going to be a hybrid approach that works very well. And the folks that are using it to become more efficient, but do not lose that human connection, and the inputs and the outputs are going to win. So I'm glad to hear that you feel the same on that.
Absolutely, man. Especially you guys in your space, like so many realtors, it's like you still need to have those connections. You still need to build that trust. So many people who buy multiple houses over the course of many years, like they want to go to the person they trust, that it's going to take care of them, that the process is seamless for them and whatnot. And that's that's not going to go away. It's just not going to go away.
Absolutely. Well, my favorite segment, man, of the show, we're going to get to quick takes with Micah. Favorite book or podcast? It doesn't have to be of all time. Maybe something you're loving.
Yeah, I think my favorite book, it changes a little bit. Two books, Wild at Heart, John Eldridge. I love Wild at Heart. And I love The Noticer by Andy Andrews.
Okay.
It's all about perspective. It's a really quick read, but it changes your entire outlook on just life, regardless of where you're at right now.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm working through Wild at Heart right now and just absolutely loving that book. And especially having a little man who's 5 turning 6 trying to figure his life out too. So
he's going to be in that cowboy stage soon.
Exactly right, man. Oh man. It's like the wild, wild west between, trying to parent him versus my angel of a 7-year-old that I've got.
Yes.
So, all right, cool, man. All right. Well, let's talk about underrated success habits, and maybe let's keep fitness out of it, because I'm going to say, hey, barbells and chicken. And I got to know, I'm going to get off topic just for a second. How many pounds of chicken do you think you've eaten in your life?
Oh man.
We need to ask AI.
I could probably figure this out. So like 365 times 30 years. So let's just say since I transformed, I'm coming up on 30 years.
Okay.
Times about 1.5 pounds a day is what I eat in chicken for the most part. It gives you a lot. I should have put stock in whatever chicken that I was eating.
16,000, over 16,000 pounds, my friend.
Yeah, I've eaten a lot of chicken. If you follow me, you know how much I love chicken. It's like, hey, what's for dinner? Chicken. I love chicken.
Man, this is great.
Easy. I'm that most underrated success habit. Oh man, I think the most underrated success habit is actually taking time for yourself each day and just quiet and peace and rest. To rest your mind. I think we kind of do it wrong in America, where we just go to the point of, that it's impossible to catch up. And that's hard to live that way. So take 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day to just rest, to close your eyes and just get some peace.
Oh man. Double click, triple click, rewind, listen to it. 3 p.m. My alarm just went off on my phone. I've got a Divine Mercy prayer break for 15 to 30 minutes every day at 3 p.m. And it's been a absolute game changer. It's almost like a like a clearing out and reset
It
of the
does.
brain.
It's like a recycle. Like it's like, oh
Oh,
man, it's a refresh. It's a recycle, especially if you get in the word and stuff too, devotions.
that's what I do.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you just need that peace, man. We talk about resting with the Lord. It's like you just need that. You need that peace and that
Mhm.
quiet, because people are going to just take you as far as they can take you, each day. And there's a lot of stuff, especially if you have kids and a wife and a family and responsibilities, and you're a leader and entrepreneur. Like it never stops.
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
got to make that time for yourself.
100%. Yeah. I got a buddy, successful entrepreneur, and he told me that for a year, the first 6 hours of his day were dedicated to himself.
That's awesome.
That blew my mind, man.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. Now he gets
Yeah, I
up at
get about 2
3.
to 3, but I don't get 6.
Yeah. And I was like, well, no wonder you're a leading exit transformational strategist for business owners. Like, that's all you do is like think about that stuff. Like, but that's the type of people I want in my corner, not the person who's got a million things going on and running through. And they just, yeah, this is one of the things that I do during the day, right? Like, specialty and expertise is what really sets you apart. So I want to finish up today with a question about legacy,
Yeah.
because it's obviously on your mind, and it's the mission driven, entrepreneurship that you're working on, the breaker. I mean, this is all legacy stuff, but I mean, if you had to say, not through just business, but through the people and the lives that you've impacted, what legacy are you working to leave right now?
I mean, again, it goes back to my foundation and my faith, Logan. I mean, I want to get on the other side, and I see a whole bunch of people that I didn't know that I impacted that are there with me, and
Love that.
and at some point standing in front of the Lord and saying that I did well. You
Mm.
know, you leave. Some people think, when they think of legacy, or you have generational health, you have generational wealth, you have these things that you leave for people, but it's really the experiences and the moments and those words, or that listening that you do for that individual, and maybe that one moment that shifted and changed their entire life. And so I really do my best to not take that for granted, because that can really impact someone's life.
Boom. All right, Micah, point people in the right direction. I'm sure you're probably pretty easy to find, but
Yeah.
where do
You
you
can
want
look
them
me
to
up
head?
on, my name is Michael LaCerte. You can find me on Google, but hitchfit.com or thebreakermission.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all the platforms.
Man, so much of a blessing to have you here today, sharing the message that you did, the time that you took. Love that Diana showed up in a big way. You're on next. I'm
Yes, I
gonna,
can't wait to see her.
yeah, yeah. Well, maybe we'll do it all in person. I'll get something set up on that
Let's
front.
do it.
So I appreciate you being here, Mike. If you guys want to learn more about our company, we help people buy, sell, and lease commercial real estate in Kansas and in Missouri. Head over to www.mwcreadvisors.com. It's been another amazing episode of the Kansas City Commercial Real Estate Market Pulse. Micah, again, appreciate you sharing your time and your wisdom with us here today. And thank you all for all the awesome listeners that chimed in, the questions that we got. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Logan.